Now pay attention, 007. I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be. I'm Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy, and welcome to another video of a pretty big milestone for me, honestly. And oh man, 2 wonderful weekends ago, I was in London, and my goodness, the amount of fun and the amount of camaraderie and things that happened were beyond I ever could dream of. And I was so thankful to be there for a very special reason, celebrating Cue the Music Show's final concert at Her Majesty's Theatre in West End. Really, it was kind of 2 years in the making of trying to get to London and celebrate everything Bond. I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2020, I was supposed to study abroad for a few months, and something that same year kind of happened to where kind of stopped a lot of people from traveling, and obviously stopped me from going out of the country and studying abroad. So that is kind of a blessing in disguise, though, because a lot of people I didn't know in the Bond community compared to now. And so that being said, I was able to have 1,000 times more fun and meet more people within the Bond community over there, and it was just so much better than I could ever imagine. But like I said, this is the video. I've compiled video and photo footage of my whole trip. It's pretty much in chronological order, so what you see from the beginning, and I will explain each kind of segment along the way, is what I went through from day one to the final day in London. So stay to the very end. There's a very special something for Cue the Music Show that me and a few other friends of mine were able to put together, and thank you to those who were able to participate. Let's dive in to my trip to London. I'm here in Chicago. So first off, I apologize to whatever the heck that was. Bear in mind that it was only 2 hours of sleep that I got on the whole flight from Sacramento to Chicago. But yes, here I am in Chicago, my connecting airport, the famous O'Hare Airport, where I got my connection to London Heathrow. Funny enough, I found the London poster in the famous corridor you may have seen in the Home Alone movies, which is kind of what this airport is known for during the holidays. But yeah, nevertheless, I found my gate, and here in this picture is the aircraft that I was going to fly, which is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which is the first time I've ever had a chance to fly on this plane, and oh my gosh, it was truly a dream. So here's the seat that I got, and thanks to my dad for the hookup and taking care of me, I was able to get business class, which allowed me to lie down flat in the fancy seats, which was so welcomed after a long flight from Sacramento to Chicago where I was, sitting up the whole time. So I got to London, and this is one of the first pictures that I took on my way to the tube station, where I would get the Piccadilly line to get to Leicester Square. And as you can see, this just reminds me of Skyfall, in the scene where Silva and Bond are having their chase and they're sliding down the escalator to the tube station. So very cool moment for me to see that right off the bat. Then here is my spot, sitting down in the actual tube carriage. And fun fact, my first time ever in the tube was in London 3 years ago, and I never got a chance to go in the tube, so here we go. It was really cool. Now, enter the first scene I get when I walk out of the tube station, and yes, it is a cold, wet London evening, but nevertheless, my excitement is, oh man, it's out of the roof. I'm entered and seen walking out of the Leicester Square station to the Hippodrome Casino, which a lot of people I know have gone to, and events held there. I decided to take a really cool video of the famous Odeon Theater, where many Bond premieres were held, and it was just a really cool moment to see in person. And yep, Thank goodness I had my barber jacket to keep me nice, warm, and shielded from the rain. It was truly the unsung hero of this whole trip because there were days where it was pretty rainy, and as you'll see later on in the video, it held up really well. Now, there's just something about mornings in London, especially after rainfall. The sky was blue, but obviously you could see the ground was still pretty moist. Uh, but this was my view, waking up and walking out. And mind you, I went to bed around 2 or 3 in the morning that night, and I still managed to wake up around 6:30, 7 o'clock. And don't ask me how I got the energy. Probably again the excitement. I got up to just walk around and kind of get lost in London and grab some coffee and see what the mornings were like. Here are a few shots, just kind of walking around and, like I said, getting lost, which was so much fun. Uh, Stopping by this cafe, which was so cool to see. Freshly baked pastries and the outdoor seating where you can actually sit and enjoy your coffee or espresso or pastry, something really in America we kind of take for granted. We kind of just grab and go, really. And then eventually, yes, this, if you guys know, holds a lot of memories for me because when I was in London previously in the past 3 years, this was the one spot that I promised myself I was going to go to, and I went. It's the famous Savile Row. It has the Kingsman ties for me, as well as, of course, the literary and the film bonds talk about their tailors in Savile Row, and just from a sartorial standpoint, just loads of history. So, what does one do at 8 in the morning when nobody is in any of the shops and the street is pretty dead? Well, I have my own Kingsman moment. So right after that, I met up with Jocelyn and her husband David at this amazing place called Reg's, which you can laugh at me all you want, but I've never found a more amazing place for breakfast in all my years. My goodness, I wish we had this in America, but their sausage croissant roll was to die for. We were eating that and waiting for our Bond buddies to get together and make our first stop at the Leicester Square Lego store. As you can see, the famous Lego full-size Lego DB5 was on display. And of course, we took advantage of the photo ops. They even had Bond sitting next to, or standing rather, next to the car, and really cool backdrop there. I come to find that this was the world's largest Lego store, and I had no idea. But it was really cool to tour. They had a very cool kind of a history museum of Lego and upstairs, which was really cool to go through. Yeah, we met up with a buddy, the Bond enthusiast, Mr. Joe Silock, met us there, and we got to say our hellos. Such a great guy, full of content. If you go and check out his Instagram, you won't be disappointed, especially his 25 days of 007 little series that he has is really cool to check out. So then after that, we went to our second Bond stop, which we were accompanied with Mr. Zafran Jones, as you can see in that beautiful overcoat he's wearing, and then Joe. I love this picture because it's just so, it's like we weren't even paying attention to the camera, and we were just in awe that we were right there, as you can see in front of Flores on 89 German Street. This was a big one for me because, I mean, you could tell by my face that we are here in really a very historically rich, for not only Bond fans, but London in general. This store has been around for hundreds of years, and Fleming used to be a regular. Uh, and then, of course, the exciting news of the new 007 collaboration that they decided to do. So, of course, I was excited to see that and get the smell and just walk around and feel the history. Man, you truly did feel history. In a lot of these stores that you walked into, you could feel the history that within these stores. It was truly, truly something special. And everyone at Flores really took care of us and let us linger around and ask questions. And I was lucky enough to go home with a new scent to add to my collection, the Spiced Bergamot, which is a very nice, warm, and woodsy scent, perfect for the upcoming holiday and winter season. this point, we went ahead and went to Turnbull and Asser, which is of course, another huge Bond brand, and rich in Bond history. And here I am with all the shirts. And I was actually able to get a tour of the New York City store with the one and only Matt Spacer, and that was such a really cool experience. And to come back to London to their first original store was even more amazing. And in fact, I even went home with something very special, which you will see later on in the video. From then, we went to a Lock & Co. Now, Lock & Co. was a very special moment for me as well because, of course, they supplied a ton of the Bond hats in all the Bond movies, or in most of them. And I promised myself, leaving London, I'm going to be leaving with a Lock & Go hat. And this was it. I was here. And no, it wasn't the odd job top hat as much as I wanted it to be. But as you can see, here's the 007 collection, some of the pieces that were on display. And I decided to come home with a traditional newsboy cap, kind of like that one you see on the upper left-hand corner of the picture. Very, very comfortable, very relaxed, very soft, and just overall a great cap and a great representation of Lock & Co. and their very versatile styles of cap. So I was very thankful for that opportunity and to see everything and to hear the history again. And thank you for those at Lock & Co. for your time and just helping us excited Bond fans through the store and letting us linger around. And it was such a great time. They took really good care of us. Then we decided to walk along and make our way to actually the Burlington Arcade. But on our way, we stopped at Crockett and Jones, and here you can see Zafran, Joe, and I looking through the window, pretty much, well, as you can say, drooling over the shoes. You can see the rich history, of course, within the last few Bond movies that Daniel Craig wears these beautiful shoes, and they actually had the 007 No Time to Die shoe kit, or the special edition shoes that they had on display, which was really cool to see in person. And just overall, they treated us super nice and let us ask any questions and showed us all the really cool Bond shoes, and even let me take home a catalog which outlines all the shoes that were in the Bond movies. So it was really cool to have, and a great momentum of my time there at Crockett and Jones. So now here we are making our way to the ultra famous Burlington Arcade, home to the No Time to Die / 60th anniversary kind of Bond celebration, if you will. I mean, obviously, if you guys have seen Instagram and following along within the Bond community, you've seen the many pictures of what they did to make the Burlington Arcade all Bond theme. It was a little different though. When we showed up, it was not as decorated in Bond stuff, but nevertheless, it was really cool to walk and know that it was there. Of course, we stopped at the N. Peel, the famous N. Peel store in the Burlington Arcade. There's Zafran as he's saying hi to the camera, and we're walking in to the store there, and they were so nice. They showed us the exclusive Bond room, which was upstairs, and let us take our time and kind of really get to kind of go through all of their collection and let us try on anything that we wanted, take pictures and videos, and obviously you could see the No Time to Die outfit there, the commando sweater that we see in the film, and all the wonderful pictures that they had up there. It was so cool to see, and I got to see some of the new stuff from the new 60th anniversary collection as well, which was really cool. I definitely have my favorites that hopefully one day I'll be able to add to the collection, but I mean, it was just so cool to see in person, and to be in the famous Burlington Arcade store was even better. And again, thank you, N. Peel, for allowing us to be in there and rummage through all of your goodies and taking care of us while we were there. Then right next door, funny enough, how convenient, was the Bollinger Bar, the 007 Bollinger Bar, which you can see is now emblazoned with the new Magnum Bollinger bottle celebrating the 60th anniversary of Bond. And walking in, there was tons of Bond goodies, Bond pictures, and even special edition Bollinger bottles from the past films. It was so cool. Mind you, we actually had a party of 8. We were going to have a party of 6, but we met up with a couple Bond buddies that were already there, beat us to it, and they tagged along, and we were sent up to this room here you're seeing the video of, and it was just so cool. Literally, it looked like it was made for the Bond community with all the cool goodies and pictures and memorabilia that was on display. And there's my glass of the Bollinger champagne in that special 007 Bollinger glass. Of course, a wrist shot from everybody that showed up. Speaking of everybody that showed up, here is our amazing group of Bond fans here. There's Joe starting on the left, Jocelyn and her husband behind me, and then Zafran behind me, and then at the far back to the right, Mr. Matthew Gibbs. Shout outs to him. He came with some goodies that we'll talk about later in the video. And then a few other of our friends that also have some awesome Bond content there. I'll link everybody's Instagram and stuff in the description below, of course. And then Mr. Fletcher, the essence of Bond, dropped in. Perfect timing. He came in and met us up here, and it was so cool because we were talking before the London trip, and we were just so excited to meet each other. And no better place to have met than the Bollinger Bar here, and just having a great time together, enjoying the Bond fandom. Then after that, we stopped off at a few more places. This was one of my favorite spots here. As you can see, this is the on Savile Row again. The three-piece suit that we see Sean Connery wear by Anthony Sinclair was on display with some really cool pictures of Sean Connery getting fitted, and just, again, really cool shot there. Had to incorporate this one. Then at this point, it was time to get ready for dinner. And here is what I was talking about. You might recognize the tie. Of course, it's the Turnbull Nasser Tomorrow Never Dies tie. And oh man, that was the purchase that I took the last one. It was meant to be. This is a very fitting and very special dinner, which was none other than at Rules. Yes, Rules in London. Oh my goodness, this beautiful establishment. Of course, we all know the restaurant from Spectre and famous scene with M. And this is it. This was the oldest restaurant in London, and I got to experience it at, mind you, if the table looks familiar, that is it. That is table number 9, M's table, which, for, you call it pure luck, call it the spirit of Bond, whatever you want. But my first time here, we were blessed to sit at table number 9, again, which is M's table, which is pretty rare to get. But here you could see Jocelyn and I super excited. We're sitting down waiting for a meal. I decided, of course, to get their Vesper martini, followed by some lamb skewered. Not really, maybe, I don't know. But all I know, it was super good, super rich, delicious. Everything about the meal was so delectable. And then obviously I had to find this guy. This is Billy Bond's art interpretation and painting of M and that famous scene, which they have on display in and framed right there next to the table, which was really cool to see in person. Billy is obviously an amazing artist. Some more shots of me and Jocelyn enjoying our dinner in front of the famous painting that we see in front of M. And there is Mr. Zafran Jones and I also by that wonderful painting. And of course, at the very end, I had to do it. The picture. The picture of representing M. So, yeah, what an amazing night. And I cannot express enough how thankful I am for having that opportunity. So, day 2, which was Sunday. Yeah, what can I say? It was an amazing. We did all that in one day, which is kind of crazy to think about. But as you can see, day 2, I actually got to meet up with my dad, who flew in for his trip, and I spent some time with him, and we went to go see a very special, almost like a Bond fan mecca, if you will. Yes, the MI6 building. What an amazing steps it was to go see it. Like, to see it in the flesh was awesome. I mean, oh my goodness. I know to people there that are locals, it's literally just a building from a movie, but for someone who is rarely there and has the opportunity to see it, it was really cool. It was such an awesome moment. Like, to see it in person was really cool. Decided to kind of walk around the area and kind of follow the Thames a little bit. Walked all the way from that bridge, I think it's Vauxhall Bridge, to the Westminster Bridge, just to give you some geographical reference there. So it was quite a bit of walking, but got some really good shots. And then, of course, there's the picture of Big Ben. And then we passed by the theater that would later be filled with hundreds of Bond fans for the big event, Cue the Music's final show. There's Her Majesty's Theater there. Had to take a picture of it before everybody got in line and before I had to get ready. And speaking of getting ready, we kind of fast forward to the moment that I was waiting for the whole trip, which was going to Cue the Music Show's final concert. There's some fun pictures of a couple Bond fans dressed as Blofeld and Oddjob. Awesome opportunity to take a picture with them. Super fun. They were really cool. And then Saffron, of course, gotta get in on the action as well. Entering the theater, oh my goodness, it was a gorgeous venue, as you can see here by the video. Beautiful red velvet seats, gold accents, amazing. Saffron and I sitting next to each other, getting ready for the show here. And oh my gosh, it was an amazing show. I have, again, something special at the end, so I appreciate you guys waiting to the end. A little something special for Cue the Music that I want them to hear. But here's the end of the video. Obviously, we couldn't record or take pictures during the show, but this is the curtain call towards the end of the show, and my goodness, what an amazing show it was. Then after the show, got to meet up with some people that you may recognize. Calvin Dyson from YouTube. Finally got to meet him. Oh my goodness. And then at the after party, yes, there was an after party, and yes, it was a lot of fun. Got to meet AJ Chowdhury. You know him, you love him. He's huge in the Bond community. Some Kind of Hero, he wrote, and basically the Bond fan Bible, if you will. Super an awesome guy, and so thankful to have the opportunity to meet him in the flesh. And AJ, it was such a great time chatting with you. Can't wait to do it again soon. And then, of course, Warren. This was a very special moment for me. I got to meet Warren in person and just congratulate him for all the things that he's done and the things that I know will continue to do. He's been a huge part of the Bond community, and as a huge music fan myself, I really appreciated all the hard work that he has done. And to just say that in person and to come this way, all that way, to finally meet him was a huge monumental moment. And then another one of my favorite pictures, as it was ending the evening, was all the ladies and gents in black tie. Everyone looked amazing, by the way. Together taking this picture, starting from left to right. You see Zaffran, and then we have Gavin from Shetland with Love, wonderful Instagram account. Of course, another huge Bond fan and great friend of mine. Joe in the middle, Jocelyn on the right, and then Billy Robinson from Billy's Bond Art all the way to the right. So it was amazing to meet everyone, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for just making my whole weekend very special. It was truly a time in my life that I will honestly cherish and never forget at all. Everything. I mean, it was a short time, just a weekend, but so many memories were made. And as a motto that I have, memories are forever. And you guys truly added to that. And that being said, yes, that was the end of the evening, which meant the next morning I woke up early and rode this beautiful bird back home to the States, and even had some fun talking to the captain. As soon as I told him I was a pilot, he said, "Come on up to the cockpit." And I did took a picture, and as you can see, I'm grinning like crazy with my Lock and Co cap ready for the journey home. Oh, man. And we're back. As you can see, that was a huge trip. I mean, for me to meet everybody, to go to all those wonderful stores, some of those stores, the history you could feel as soon as you walked in. It was amazing. And I mean, the memories that were made are worth a lifetime. All of these memories that I had. I mean, I even had some things happen that I didn't think were going to happen along the way, and they were great surprises. Got to meet some people that I finally got to meet in person after months and even years of chatting to. People that I really look up to in the community, I got to shake hands with, and it was just, I was starstruck. And the amount of people that came up to me too, and were excited to see me and meet me was, you know, it has made me feel like I was some type of celebrity, and that was really nice. I've honestly never had that feeling before, so man, this community is truly something to be a part of, and I love it because of it. But I kind of wanted to highlight some goodies that I brought back with me, and kind of shout some people out that made it possible. One of those people, Mr. Zafran Jones, thank you so much, sir, for being our tour guide and kind of being there from day one and being in contact with me, and from before I even went there. We kind of mapped out what we were going to do. Really appreciate everything that you were able to show us, and even battling a little bit of a sniffle, you still stood strong and stayed with us all the way through. And honestly, thank you for the whole show and making it a great experience. Wanted to shout him out because he surprised me. Talking about surprises earlier, when I got to the hotel room, he surprised me with these guys. As you can see, these are the Miltech tactical gloves from No Time to Die. We see Bond wearing in his commando outfit. Super cool to add these to the collection, and really something. It's kind of a special story along with them too. So, Zafran, thank you so much for that. Individual I want to shout out, coming out all the way and to hang out with us. I believe it was Saturday when we were going and doing kind of the Bond brand tour, if you will. Mr. Matthew Gibbs, you all know him and love him. Commander Bond 007. He's done a lot of amazing artwork, logos, and intros in the Bond community. He kind of surprised me with one of these bad boys. I'm sure you've seen Mr. David Saritsky, the Bond Experience, post about these. Matthew, I believe, made these for David, signifying the 60 years of James Bond, and it's really cool to have this. Super cool. And then he also surprised me with a notepad from Matera, the hotel from No Time to Die. Super cool. I have one of these actually on my nightstand with the GoldenEye Parker and Jotter pin. So like I may have mentioned, when I went to Lock & Co, the Hatters in London, I had to, one of my things that I really wanted to get and add to my personal collection was a hat from Lock & Co. And while I really wanted the original trilby that Sean Connery wore, the same style, it's a little bit out of my price zone because there's a couple other things that I wanted to get and bring home with me as well. I decided to go for the new classic newsboy cap, and I have this right here. It comes in this really cool kind of pouch, and as you can tell, it's a gorgeous hat, and it fits great. It feels great. It's super soft, and it holds a lot of memories because I got it when I went to London with the Bond crew, and it is a official Lock & Co cap. So we all know and love them from the Bond franchise. We've seen them on many, and as we speak right now, I believe they even have a 007 exhibit where they have some of the original hats that we see on screen on display. So if you're in London and you're watching this video now, as of November 13th, go and check them out. I'm sure it's really cool to see. I just missed it by a few days. Darn it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that I was hoping you guys would make sure you stayed for, and thank you so much for staying if you did, because this is what means the most to me, is this little last part of the video here, talking about, again, the main reason why I decided to pull the trigger and go to London, and it was to celebrate Cue the Music. This is, yes, the official program that you get, filled with really cool pictures and biographies of the different people. Oh, yep, and one of the Bond girls was there. A lot of great information about the musicians, the singers, and everyone involved. A few articles from Warren, and they're so really cool to have this. And honestly, it's means a lot to me because I had some very special moments seeing Cue the Music for the first time. And speaking of Cue the Music, this leads me to my final part of the video. To Warren and everyone at Cue the Music, thank you so much for making a everlasting memory for me, not only in the mind but in the heart, and for 18 years of wonderful Bond sound and keeping it alive, the music of John Barry and David Arnold and everybody in between. You guys truly are the epitome and soul of what Bond community creation is. I can honestly say nobody does it better than Cue the Music Show. So this is for you guys, for Warren again, and everyone at Cue the Music. I hope you enjoy. And that being said, I'm Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy. I'll end it here, but I hope you guys enjoy this part.
Hey, hello, this is Joe, the Bond enthusiast, and I wanted to pass along my congratulations to Warren and all of Cue the Music on an amazing show a few weekends ago at Her Majesty's Theatre in London. I've been fortunate enough to see you guys now in concert about 4 or 5 times, including the Peace Gloria show back in 2019 for the OHMSS 50 tour. And now I was in London a couple weeks ago to see this final theater show that you guys put on, and I was absolutely blown away by it. Some wonderful cues from Thunderball and For Your Eyes Only and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Just too many good suites of music to list right here. But if I had to pick a favorite, I think it's the David Arnold and Propellerheads version of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I've always loved that theme. It's got just a great energy to it, and to hear you guys play this in concert live, knowing how electronically driven it is just phenomenal. And you guys nailed it out of the park. And I know now Alex Gifford from the Propellerheads was actually at the concert in the audience and had high praise for it as well. So I guess it gets no higher than that. But again, my congratulations to you, Warren, and all of Cue the Music on a fantastic theater show, and all the best.
Hi everyone, this is David, aka Licensed to Queer, dropping in just to say thank you for the music. I'm sure someone's made a cheesy reference to ABBA by this point, so I will avoid that and instead just say thank you for a brilliant evening to Cue the Music. The second of the concerts I'd seen, I'd been to the one in High Wycombe that was just before the first lockdown back in 2020. And it was a brilliant show then, and the final show was just out of this world, to be perfectly honest. Probably the best Bond concert I've ever been to. My cat is trying to steal the show, in case you hadn't noticed him. There we go. Anyway, yeah, thank you to Cue the Music for an amazing show. I think my absolute highlight was so hard to pick, but I think I'd probably go with that segment of the evening. And if you were there, you know exactly the segment I'm referring to. Such amazing attention to detail. Even getting the track wrong, just like the soundtrack CD. Gonzalez Takes a Drive. And all of the sounds that went along with that brilliant sequence. They discovered the 2CV. I have no idea musically what that little segment is where it goes you know the bit I mean, but they got everything down to that very last detail. It's just a shame that they couldn't make it last all night. Yeah, I went there.
Hello, Simon Firth here, sometime author for On the Tracks of 007. I just want to say a little thank you, well, a huge thank you actually, for Cue the Music. Quite ashamedly, that was actually my first and last exposure to their brilliant music and their superb performance. In terms of what was my favourite part of the evening, to be honest, the whole thing was absolutely superb. Some musicians who were genuinely enthralled by what they were playing, an audience who were equally enthralled to be with each other and to be watching and listening to this music. To be honest though, the fact that they did play a couple of my absolute favourite musical cues, those being Tomorrow Never Dies, Backseat Driver, and also Fiore's Only, Runaway, they did absolutely find me tapping my toes. So guys, thank you very much indeed. I wish you all the very best for the future. All the best.
Hi there everyone at Cue the Music. My name is Zafran Jones and I was one of the very lucky members of the audience that got to witness musical magic on October 23rd. I wanted to take a brief moment to thank you for putting together such a wonderful show that captures the true musical essence of Bond. You guys are true musical magicians and I didn't know what to expect going in. I know London was the final stop for Cue the Music, and I'm so glad that during the time between watching the show and ahead of knowing when the show was going to take place that I withheld myself from seeing any of your prior material online. And the reason I say that is because I get to now say I experienced Cue the Music exactly how it was meant to be experienced, and that's live, in person, in a theatrical environment, and it truly was a magical, magical night. I cannot begin to imagine the amount of tireless hard work, dedication and endless planning and rehearsal that went into putting together such a show. So thank you so much for the amazing effort that all you guys put together. And collectively, you guys truly, truly do create magic. And the show, every single track was great, but one particular standout track for me was Backseat Driver from Tomorrow Never Dies. And the reason I say that is because I've never seen or heard it performed live, and it is a track that I listen to quite regularly in my day-to-day life, whether it be out for a run or trying to get reports together done for work. It's something that I listen to, and it gives me great motivation. So to be able to experience that soundtrack live was truly, truly a magical moment for me that I'll always remember. Thank you so much for everything that you've done over the years, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavours. Best wishes. Take care now.
Hey Cue the Music, just want to say thank you so much for 18 years of amazing Bond music. You guys have held the torch for all the years that we didn't really have any Bond content, and keeping the spirit of Bond alive through music. And music is such an important thing to the world and the arts, and you guys have done it. So it was such an amazing time to go to the concert, and I'm so glad that I flew across the ocean to go see you guys perform. Music is such a big part of my life, and I mean, I started off getting into James Bond by playing Bond music in middle school, so it really touched my heart just being able to experience just live music with such an awesome brass group, and Carrie, you know, you're a beautiful singer, and Matthew, I mean, like, just the whole experience was so amazing. So it's definitely a moment I will never forget in my life, just being there with all of my friends and Bond fans and experiencing the music of James Bond. So congrats on 18 years and on a fantastic run. I wish you guys all the best, and I hope it's not the end. Hopefully maybe in the future we'll have more beautiful music from you guys at a future event or anything. But until then, enjoy your time off and keep being amazing musicians. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Hello, Warren, Kerry, and all of Cue the Music. This is just a very quick message to say thank you so much for everything that you've done over the last few years and for all of the brilliant shows. You really did give Bond fans a kind of a priceless gift in a lot of ways, in the sense of, you know, being able to go somewhere and see a live band and live singers performing these amazing songs and pieces of music. It's something that is not often, it's not an opportunity that comes around for us Bond fans all that much, seeing these things performed live and being sat in wonderful venues, hearing this wonderful music. So thank you so much for that. It's really genuinely memories that well, I will certainly cherish for the rest of my life. So thank you so much. And particularly thank you for the final show you did in London for the medley of For Your Eyes Only score music. That was something really special that I will be lucky if I can ever replicate such an experience again. So genuinely, so, you know, it's like once in a lifetime stuff, and I will forever be grateful to you for allowing me to come to a newfound appreciation of some Bond songs that I didn't like all that much previously, and then hearing the Cue the Music's interpretation of the songs. I'm thinking, you know, Another Way to Die, particularly here, hearing your versions of it and loving them so much, and then coming away and thinking, oh, actually, there are things that I like about that music, actually. So I'll always be really thankful for that. Thank you for everything that you've done. I hope that you're really happy with how the final London show went. You really should be. It was an awesome experience. I hope you didn't get too drunk at the after party. Or actually, I hope you did get very drunk at the after party, because you deserved it. So yes, take care, and see you soon, I hope.
Hey Chris, Billy here. Just a quick one, checking in with you as part of this London compilation video. First and foremost, to say thank you to you for spending some time with me down in London. It was so great to finally meet you, and I hope you had a really wonderful trip. And secondly, to say thank you, of course, to Warren and, of course, all of Cue the Music for not only a fantastic and unstoppable, unbeatable night of live James Bond music, but for years of it, and for soundtracking a lot of what I do over the years, and just for being lovely people and for supplying us with fantastic music for as long as they have done. No one does it, and no one is going to do it better. So thank you to all involved, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, Gavin Emsley from Shetland with Love on Instagram here. Big thank you to Warren and Cue the Music for 18 years of epic shows. Absolutely delighted that I could be there on that final show at the West End. So many highlights for me, but I think the one that takes the top spot has definitely got to be Another Way to Die. Those three guitars had me air guitaring in my seat. It was truly epic. Anyway, hope this isn't a goodbye, more of an au revoir, as Roger would say in Spy. Thanks very much for all the memories. Cheers, guys.